Actually, our topic is like spiritual freedom and how to enter to Sarsana, or how to practice Buddhism or Buddha's approach. Like that, we can think in that way. So, therefore, what's the freedom of Buddhism like that? Because we are doing so many things on behalf of freedom. If we don't have religious freedom, why should we follow religion? Then we should have freedom to follow any religion. If some religion do not guide to freedom, we don't want to follow that religion. Therefore, now I am not going to say, please follow Buddhism, or this Buddhism is the only one and only religion in the world like that. But I hope to explain something regarding Buddhist approach to Sasana, or if somebody want to practice, who can get some idea and who can practice them. Then, first of all, we need to understand what is spiritual freedom like that. In Buddhism, spiritual freedom, it can be introduced like Ceto Vimutti. That's the real definition. Spiritual freedom means Ceto Vimutti. That means liberation of the mind. It's not just about external independence, but about inner liberation from suffering, delusion and attachment. True freedom is achieved through wisdom, ethical conduct like sila and meditation, samadhi, leading to nibbana or the ultimate liberation. I think now you can understand, if somebody want to achieve freedom in some circle of journey or circle of samsara, you need to practice like wisdom or panya, sila, morality, as well as you have to practice meditation. Then only you can achieve higher result in Buddhism. Then now I am going to explain what are the barriers to spiritual freedom. Because when you practice Buddhism, we have so many barriers. In nowadays, in the current society also, we have a religious authority, we have a religious belief system. Therefore, please forget all the authorities and other things. Focus your attention to your target first. If you maintain only authority or culture, what will happen for your spiritual path? Yes. Then, first of all, you have to relax your mind from the religious barriers. If you have religious barriers, you can't find second theory. Earlier I mentioned, ignorance or avijja means lack of understanding of the Four Noble Truth. The Four Noble Truth is that we should know, we have to identify something plus or problems like that. Then you need to find the solution. Then what is the second one? Third one. Third one is, you need to find solution like that. The beginning you need to understand the problems, then reason and solution. And finally, you have to practice solution. And second, craving or attachment, we call that tanha. Everybody knows about that, no? We have a nice topic, upcoming topic. On that day, I'm going to explain in details, but here, simply try to understand the next barrier is in our mind, craving or attachment. Desire for material things, relationship and sensory pleasures. Then you need to eradicate craving and attachment. The 5 hindrances, which is called hindrance, you know that meaning. Pancha Nivarana, it is called in Buddhism, Pancha Nivarana. These mental defilements prevent deep concentration and wisdom. That's the problems, no? This is very important. If somebody can understand the 5 hindrances, actually who can practice anything. While you are listening Dhamma, 5 hindrances come to your mind. And while you are meditation, 5 hindrances come to your mind. Then always this mental defilement prevent deep concentration and wisdom. And if you want to get spiritual freedom to your mind, please avoid 5 hindrances. And already I have mentioned 3 teachings. Please avoid, eradicate, avijja, ignorance. Second one, craving and or attachment. And third one is 5 hindrances. 5 hindrances means you have 5 things to remove or eradicate. Ego and pride. We call that mana. Seeing oneself as superior, inferior, or equal in a way that reinforces self-identity.
You are the people.
Yeah, we think I am the superior one. Likewise, we always going to promote our teacher by saying this. Our teacher is the greatest teacher in the world like that. Omnipotent, omniscience, all-knowing, all-kind. We promote our teacher. But Buddha totally rejected that. You don't want to promote me. You have to practice Dhamma. That's the only thing that you have to do. Don't try to promote myself. Like by saying omnipotent, omniscience. You don't want to promote in that way. The only thing that you have to do is practice Dhamma. Please reduce your ego. That's the only way that you can practice Dhamma. And what else? Fear, attachment, view. That is called ditthi. Fear, attachment to view. Ditthi. Fear or letting go of conditioned belief, climb to religious, political or philosophical view without direct experience. Then we have a separate kind of philosophical ideas. That is why every time I say Buddhism is not a philosophy or a religion. The Buddhism exists beyond both philosophy and religion. Yeah, and nature practice, that is realistic teaching in the world. Then, if you have a ditthi or a fear or attachment to view, you are struggling with so many ideologistic things. They try to avoid that. Then lack of ethical conduct, sila, meditation, mindfulness like that. If you don't practice sila or morality, meditation, you have a religious barrier, you have a spiritual barrier. Then already I have mentioned several barriers. You explain that ignorance, craving and attachment, five hindrance, ego and fear attachment to will, and lack of ethical conduct. Those are the spiritual barriers. The Buddha didn't promulgated, has not promulgated any barriers, but we are the person, we have created barriers. Buddha did not give any commandment. You have to follow only my teaching like that. But we are the person, we have created our own dikti or own barriers. Then, how we can overcome those barriers? Already I have mentioned several barriers like ignorance, craving, attachment, five hindrance. Then how you can overcome? You have only three methods. If you practice these three methods, you can overcome all the barriers. And you can be a spiritual man. And you can practice teaching of the Buddha. And you can get approach to the Buddhism. Like that. The first one is Sila. Sila means cultivated ethics to purify action and thoughts. If you practice Sila, 5 precepts, 8 precepts, 10 precepts like that, if you have a moral, ethical life, you are the person, you can create your life. And also, practice meditation to calm the mind, and you can practice meditation. Then only you can release from religious barriers. And Panya, develop wisdom through learning and reflection. These three teachings are very essential to overcome all the religious barrier and spiritual barriers. Then try to practice sila, morality, samadhi, concentration, and bhavana, meditation, panya, wisdom. Please try to practice. Then furthermore, you can understand what is real spiritual freedom. There was a very nice story or sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, which is called Kalama Sutta. I think you have heard that. This is very popular sutta in Buddhist canon. Canonically speaking, Kalama Sutta is the rational teaching, rational sutta, and it has rational teaching methods. Then there were groups called there was a group called Kalama. They came to meet Buddha, then asked the question. Kalama visited to many places. They met so many religious leaders. Then after coming in front of the Buddha, they said, Bhante or Tathagata, we have visited so many places around in this area. Then we ask the question from them, what is the truth? What is the real teaching? Who is the great teacher? What is the great teaching methods that we can follow? Like that we ask several questions regarding religion. Everybody said the same answer. Same thing. They have said same thing. They said only same thing. What did they say? Yeah, our teaching is the best teaching. Our teacher is the greatest teacher in the world. Our path is the greatest path in the world. Our scriptures is the greatest scriptures in the world. Like that, they are going to say they are the superior one in the world like that. Everybody say the same thing. Then what should I follow? Because if you assume that if there are 20 teachers, you ask what is the greatest teaching or what is the real teaching in the world, everybody say our one is the best one like that. Then yeah, which one you can pick? You are going to confuse, no? You are going to be confused. Then finally they came in front of the Buddha. Think about that. If Buddha give the same answer, what will happen? He use the sand. He also going to be one of them. But Buddha had a nice answer for that. Yadatum me kalama attanava chaniyata. Kalama, you have to understand by yourself. But don't understand, it is not it has a, if you need to understand, you have something to follow like that. The Buddha say, if you know something, if you can understand something, just you follow. But you have to follow, you have to understand those theories. Then Buddha gave 10 theories. Kalala. If you want to follow any religion in the world, the Buddha didn't say, my religion is the best religion, you need to follow my religion like that. Buddha gave some solution for them, which is called freedom from blind faith. Buddha advised the Kalamas not to accept teaching based on, what are they? Anusava, oral tradition. Oral tradition meaning, I think you can understand oral tradition. We practice something orally, then we teach that to our next generation. They also bring that for the next generation like that, but we don't know it is follow through. We don't know that. But however, they are practicing. They are believing. But they don't know it is correct or wrong, but just they believe because of oral tradition. Then Buddha said, don't depend on oral tradition. And parampara, lineage. We have good lineage, no? Then sometimes if our mother or our father, if they have a good capacity, good education background, because of your lineage, sometimes you believe. But Buddha say, don't depend on lineage or parampara. Next one. Itijiraya. Hearsay. We have heard something, no? Then we follow. We think that this is, sometimes we think this is true, like that we follow. And Pitaka Sampadana, scriptures. We have religious scriptures. Every religion has religious scriptures. But we don't know it is true or not. Sometimes there are some late addition too. There are some late addition. Then we need to identify that. Some teaching has been included later because by considering the current situation, someone added something later. It may happen. Yeah, depending because of the culture. But we need to identify that. We need to understand that. Then don't believe because of your scriptures. Then, and also, takka hetu, logical reasoning. Some people has good capacity. They can argue. They have good speaking skills. They can argue. Then we think if somebody win the game, we think, yeah, he is the superior one. Then whatever he say, we believe, we follow. That is a wrong following system. Then don't depend on logical reason. And naya hetu, inference. And akara paragitakkena, superficial appearances. Some religious leaders, look good, no? They have good appearances. They are very high and they have handsome body, smile, and they have good capacity. They are very strong. Then we think he is the superior person, then we have to follow like that. But Buddha say, don't depend on that. Superficial appearances. And agreement with personal views. I have personal philosophy. I follow some religious teaching. I read some religious scriptures. Then I have built up my own view by using religious teaching. But I don't know it is correct or wrong. But according to my philosophical matters, I practice something, I believe something. That meaning you don't want to believe my ditti only, my view only. But I can preach even this sermon also. You can believe or you can reject. That's the freedom of Buddhism. If I have achieved so many degrees, you don't want to follow me. Because you are also an educated person. You also have a capacity. Then nobody, there is no, Then agreement with personal views mean everybody has a different kind of philosophy, but you are the person, you can identify, but the thing is you need to listen first. You have to listen first, and now after that you can investigate. You can think more and more, then after that you follow. And next one, seemingly convincing reasoning. Don't depend on that. And Samano no Garu, last one, respected for a teacher. Somebody follows some teacher, then they believe only their teaching methods. Yeah, whatever they say, they believe. We don't know it's correct or wrong. They say, the number of people engage with him, that is why we are following like that. But how you can identify whether it is wrong or good or bad, it is wrong or correct? How you can understand what is your scientific methods, or what is your methods to identify that? Then don't depend on respect for a teacher, but you have respect. It's another thing, but if because of your expectation, if you believe his methods, whether it is wrong or correct, without considering that, if you follow that because of your teacher, it is not a good way to find your spiritual teacher. Teach something from teacher, but don't follow if some teacher says the wrong path. Then Buddha gave 10 theories to cultivate your wisdom or cultivate your belief. Then freedom from belief way, you need to practice, you need to understand the teaching that I have mentioned. Instead, the Buddha encouraged personal investigation, reasoning and direct experience. Earlier I mentioned 10 theory. The Buddha said, don't depend on oral tradition, line 8, hearsay, scriptures, logical reasoning, inference, superficial appearances, agreement with the personal views, and seemingly convincing reasoning, and respect for a teacher. Don't depend on that. Instead of that, the Buddha encouraged personal investigation. Come and see. We have Dhamma has one quality called come and see, ehipassika. You have to come to Buddhism, but you don't want to believe. But you have to come and you have to practice. And you can see the difference. And investigate that. And reasoning and direct experiences. Buddha accepted that. And Buddha said, Manussavena ma paramparaya maitikiraya. Don't go by tradition, by lineage, by hearsay. Please investigate and find some reasoning like that. You need to make your path. This teaching promotes freedom from dogma and reliance on wisdom. Next, freedom through ethical living. If you practice Dhamma, you have a freedom in your ethical life. After rejecting blind faith meaning I earlier mentioned what is the blind faith. If you follow oral tradition like that, that is the blind faith. The Buddha advised examining teaching based on their effect. If belief or action leads to greed, hatred or delusion, it should be abandoned. That's a blind faith. If some teaching guides to greed, hatred and delusion, please, it should be abandoned. And if a belief or action leads to compassion, wisdom and peace, it should be followed. That's the only theory. You don't forget all the things. Now I have mentioned a lot of things. No? I think you have two theories to remember. One is if a belief or action, belief meaning if you are teaching, or if you are teaching or belief, action leads to greed, hatred or delusion, then what you have to do is it should be abandoned, rejected. That's the only thing. If a belief or action leads to compassion, wisdom and peace, it should be followed. That's the only thing that is the religious freedom. Then you can identify if whatever your teacher says, whatever your religious say, your religion say, don't follow. Please try to investigate. It is guide to greed, hatred or delusion, or compassion, wisdom and peace. Try to understand that if it follow the good way like compassion, wisdom and peace, then you can follow. That's the only thing, only way that you can accept the religion. And Buddha said that Yam tam tumhe kalama attanava jahaniyata. Whatever you know for your lives to be wholesome, blameless, praised by the wise or admired by the wise, and leading to benefits and happiness should be practiced. Then that was the advice of the Buddha to Kala.